It is no surprise that steelbooks are one of the best ways to make money in CEX, and that's exactly what I was looking for in this portion of my CEX trip. So I went here a couple of days ago and I spotted this Street Fighter PS5 steelbook for £35, which I thought was a little on the pricey side considering this game isn't that old at all. So you could still go on Amazon and buy this, I would imagine. I can't really see this being sold out. Had a little look, researched it, and yes, unfortunately you can buy it cheaper brand new than you could in CEX second hand, which is definitely something CEX need to look at, but that wasn't the only steelbook I found, and we'll get to that a little later in the video. I do have a Vinted pickup to show you, which is going to be a little bit interesting because it's not something that I normally tend to find on Vinted. And like I said, we'll go back to CEX and have a little look at what else I managed to pick up or failed to pick up, and there are a few steelbooks in there worth talking about as well. So as you know, if you've seen any of the other videos in this series so far this year, I am going to primarily look at picking up Mega Drive, Xbox 360 specifically, and even more specifically, promo copies of Xbox 360 games, and I will still pick up PS4 and indeed PS5. In a video I made recently, I spoke about the condition of my local CEX store, and many of you told me in the comments that the state of your CEX store is probably worse. Well, have a little look at this. This is the upstairs section in my local CEX. It's where the original Xbox, PC games, Wii games, and general old Nintendo stuff is kept. But look at the state of this. That is the original Xbox section. There are, what, 8 games there? And it is absolutely horrendous. And I haven't seen another CEX store do this. They display cases now slanted like that because they only have one of each game. They tend to slant them on the shelf, and it can look okay, but it does tend to look pretty bad at the same time. I'm not a big fan of it, but I don't know. They've been doing it, I say recently, they've probably been doing it for the last 6 months. I don't know if I am a fan of it, I just can't make up my mind, but that's it. And then as we move over, of course, I skip over the PC games because I don't really care about collecting physical PC games, and then we go and have a look at the Wii U stuff, and there aren't too many, and you can see an awful lot of duplicates. To be fair, there are a few individual titles there, but most of them are duplicates, and it's not as bad as I've ever seen it. If I'm honest, I have seen the Wii U section in worse conditions, but this is the GameCube section. Where is it, I hear you ask? Well, this Lonely Rebel Strike down here for £8. They probably do have others in stock, they're just expensive and they have them behind the till, so you'd have to either go down and ask, or you'd have to go online and have a look. But I've never seen the PlayStation 2 section look as bad as this. I mean, look at the state of this. 20 copies of Rugby, loads of gaps, 400 copies of FIFA, some Medal of Honor Frontlines and Sons and things down there, and some Pop Idols and iToy games, and a Lonely San Andreas, which I looked at a lot, right? I wasn't going to buy it because I already have it, but that is a reprinted cover, and I don't know whether it was a reprinted cover by CEX itself, and it looks really good, to be fair, but if you could see it in your hand, you could tell. I don't know if you can on camera, but that is definitely 100% a reprinted cover. I don't know whether that's CEX doing that, because they used to do it without putting reprinted cover on it, or whether someone's just fooled CEX by trading that in, but yeah, it is a pretty sorry affair when it comes to the older stuff in my CEX. It is a mess, and I'm trying to clean up. We'll go downstairs in just a second and have a little look at the Xbox 360, some of the steelbooks, but first, a Vinted pickup. Finally, something popped up. I saw it. It was a decent enough deal that I thought, yes, I am going to buy that. Now, it's nothing amazing in the sense of the game, but there is something else that comes with it, and it means we can do something. Let me just show you what it is. Right here, wrapped up, I have half of what I've bought, and it was sold together in one lot, and it will become clear in just a second. I think it cost me about £8 or £9 altogether. It arrived very, very quickly. It was very well packaged, as you can see. Let me show you what it is. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. This is not an expensive game. It's between 10 and 15, depending on the condition. Now this one, I'm happy to say, is complete, which is nice. The manual's in decent enough condition. The cartridge is in good condition as well. But for those of you who've been watching the channel for a little while, you may have noticed a lonely cartridge on my Mega Drive shelf, and that was NBA Jam. We now have another one. Why did I do that? Well, of course, this is unboxed. I did have the box for this at one point, but I don't know what happened to it and how it became loose, but now it means I can sell it. So this one goes on the shelf into the collection to never be removed, apart from when I want to play it, of course, and this one now goes on eBay and indeed Vinted, and I'm going to try and get it gone. Now, I'm not really that bothered how much I sell it for, because this is actually being sold from the personal collection. So Rishi, if you're watching, I bought this to keep and to put into my collection, and this was already part of my collection. I owned it, so we don't need to think about putting money in or out of the threshold that we are given, because it is being sold from the personal collection. With that being said, I'm still going to use that to offset what I've bought here, so I'm going to say I'm probably going to get about 7 or 8 for that, and I think I might wait until it sells before I update some figures, because that wasn't the only thing that came with this NBA Jam. Now, the second part of this deal was why I wanted to get it. Had it just been NBA Jam for £8, I probably wouldn't have bothered, because it's that price anyway, right? But because it came with something just a little bit more desirable, that's actually worth probably double, maybe even triple in some cases what the game is worth, I felt like I had to go and do it. This is the power play guide for the game. This is a piece of gaming history at this point. This came out in 1995 when the game came out. That means this is 29 years old. It's older than me. I'm older than 20. Anyway, so this is in pretty good condition. There's no rips or anything. I'll give you a close-up look. I'll give you a little overlay, if you will. The condition of it is reasonably good. Like I said, there's no rips or anything. It's just some creasing. There is a little bit of like crinkling to some of the back pages, but generally speaking anyway, considering this is nearly 30 years old, it is in very, very good nick. Now, who the hell is buying a strategy guide for NBA Jam in the first place? I've got no idea, but the fact that I have this in my hand is a little bit astonishing. It's blown me away a little bit, I won't lie to you, and to see it on Vinted for like £8 with the game, it wasn't. I had to send an offer, but still, very, very good value. The cheapest one on eBay right now is about £30. That's crazy. Just for the guide. No game included, just for the guide. I was tempted to maybe pop those together, but if someone's buying a guide, chances are they either already have the game or they want the game boxed, so I didn't really see the point. So I've popped mine up for like 20, 22 or something. I'm hoping it's going to go for in and around that. There is a really interesting thing with eBay right now that I urge you to take advantage of. That is 100% off selling fees. Every couple of weeks or so, they normally do like 60, 70 or even 80% off selling fees for most accounts, but for some reason up until like the 15th of April eBay are doing 100% off selling fees. What does that mean? Well, it means if you put something up there for £10 plus postage, when someone buys it you will receive £10 plus postage. It's essentially how Vinted works at the moment. You'll have to sort your own postage and print your own label, or go and get your label from the post office or whatever it may be. It's not like Vinted where you just print it off and job done, but you get 100% of the final value of what you sell it for. I imagine eBay are a little bit worried at the moment. Maybe people aren't as listing as much stuff on there. Whatnot is becoming even bigger in this country right now, which is essentially a live streaming selling platform, but also because of this government ruling that's come out, it's scared a lot of people, I think, and not that many are listing, or maybe not as many as they were before, so they're trying to entice people to come back. Really good for me, because it means that we are going to keep 100% of the profit of this, and then of course I will have to take it off the threshold because Sunak wants his cut. However, for right now anyway, I'm going to assume I can get around 20 for that, which is a pretty good deal considering the next cheapest is 30. Pretty decent, if not long-winded explanation of my Vinted pickup, but I'm really, really happy with it. I have been looking on Vinted for some other things. I found one or two that weren't too bad, but I've been trying to find bundles of like Xbox 360 games that have a lot of like promo copies put into it, and I just can't find them. I can't even find individual promo copies. It's like ever since I started looking for them, people have gone, right, he's after them, everybody hide them. Let me know in the comments, are you searching for something specific at the moment when you go to CEX? It's been a long time since I've had a purpose, but walking into a CEX and looking for promo only games makes it a little bit more worthwhile rather than just looking on the website to see if a particular store has a certain game. You can't find promo games on the website, so I have to go in. Are you looking for maybe the PS3 Essentials, or indeed the classics on the Xbox, or maybe something a little bit different, Platinum on PS2? Let me know in the comments. I've been into my CEX twice in the last 3 days, and none, not one, not even the one I own. As I mentioned earlier, the state of my local CEX on this particular visit was shocking. I mean, not that many games whatsoever. This is when they had like 160 something Xbox 360 titles. In the video I made a couple of days ago, I mentioned that we only had like 160 Xbox 360 games, and we generally have 200 plus, which is, you know, a nice figure to have. But 160 is shocking because there's just not that many, and I couldn't find one promo copy of a game, and I couldn't really see any games there that like jumped out at me that I needed to spend my credit on. Championship Manager 2007 is a game that I spent a little bit of time on, but it's not something that I need to spend £6 on. Now we do have credit for CEX, of course. I traded in a bunch of games a little while ago, so I am shopping here with about £27 worth of store credit. They don't have any Mega Drive games I want, unfortunately, so when I went in here, my primary focus was to look for the promotional copies, and yes, spoiler alert, I couldn't find any whatsoever. So I switched my focus to not only see if there was something else on like a PS5 or a PS4 that I wanted to pick up, but I thought maybe today's the day we just go and double down and we make even more money. Maybe we can get some cash back into the series rather than just store credit. So that's when I started looking at things that I might be able to flip for a profit. Now they have to be things that I can flip for a nice profit. Not going to do that thing anymore where I buy something for like a £5 and we sell it for 10 or 12, because we have to keep that threshold in mind. So I started looking at Steelbooks because that is by far the easiest way anyone can make money in CEX. You go in, you have a look for slipcovers which generally house Steelbooks, or you just look for Steelbooks in general, and it's not just video games. You can do this on Blu-ray and 4K, although generally speaking they will put them in glass cabinets or have them behind the till, because for some reason people like to steal the Blu-ray and 4K ones, but they don't tend to do that for the video games. I'm not sure why. However, I found a few. First one that caught my eye actually was on the Nintendo Switch, and it stands out like a sore thumb, and it's this Smash Brothers Steelbook, which they want £42 for. Now of course you do get the game here, so it's not like you're just paying £42 for the Steelbook itself. I had a little look inside, looks pretty decent, and I had a little look to see how much this is going for. Now it's no surprise to me anyway, because I've dealt with many Steelbooks in the past on the Switch, that it wasn't going for an awful lot at all. The game itself, of course, is worth what it's worth. That's standard across the board, but the Steelbook was about £4 or £5 at best. Now in most cases, when I look to see how much a Steelbook is going for, I never really look for the Steelbook without the game. I tend to do it with the game, because if I'm going to sell it, I'm not going to keep the loose game. Doesn't make any sense to me as a collector who likes things boxed, right? That's what we've done with NBA Jam. So it's not worth picking up, especially for 42, and I knew it wouldn't be, to be fair, but I thought I'd look it up anyway. Tunic is a game I really want to play on the Switch, incidentally, but at 40, I think it's been cheaper than that, much cheaper, but at 40 right now, absolutely no chance. And I'm having a look at the Switch, even though I'm not really focused on them right now, and I have already mentioned in this video that I am waiting to see what Nintendo do with the Switch 2, but I thought I'd have a little look because I haven't really looked at them properly in a while. Lemon Cake, a game that I really want to play, but at 30, and the fact that I'm not looking at Switch right now, probably going to leave that alone. Let's go to another section of the store to see if we can find yet more Steelbooks. So this one isn't a Steelbook, but it is on the PS5, and it caught my eye because it's like a special edition. So this is Chant, and like I said, it is a special edition, but it's not a Steelbook. It's the game and some sort of like art book thing. It had some, I don't know, some rough edges, if you will. It was 15. I did look it up. You can buy it brand new for 15, so there's absolutely no point. And I did show you at the very beginning of this video, of course, that there was a Street Fighter Steelbook here as well, which I will have another little, like, very quick look at here. So, I mean, it's nice. I really like the look of it, and had this been 25, it would have been very difficult for me to not have bought it. They do have a bigger special edition, actually, of this game in the window, and I'm pretty sure it's been the wrong price in the window for about 2 weeks. I think it's 75, but they have it there for 85. I don't know how they've not noticed that yet, but it looks really nice, and the Steelbook looked fantastic. But if you can buy the Steelbook for the same price as they're selling it secondhand, brand new, I don't see the point. F1 Manager 23 looked like an interesting game for 20 quid. That's gone down really quickly. But yeah, I have F1 Manager 22, and I bought that because I was like really wanting to play it, and I still haven't played it. So not going to be buying the new one anytime soon. I've just noticed as well in the background, there is a reprinted cover of Resident Evil 4 already. How does that even happen? That is crazy. So some more PS5 games worth looking at there. There was, of course, the new Tekken 8, which they want 55 smackaroonies for. Not going to be paying those type of prices in CEX for a game unless it's a game that's been out for a very long time, that is just not going to or hasn't come down in price, especially when you can go and get it brand new for similar, if not even cheaper. But that wasn't the only Steelbook that I found. Before I get there though, a very quick look at the PlayStation 4 games, because there was something that caught my eye that I haven't actually seen yet, despite the fact that it's been out just a little while. Red Dead Redemption. This is not the second one, this is the first one. Of course, they remade this and brought this out, or rather they ported it over. But I mean, look, already the damage on the case. How does that even happen? Who's buying physical games and then just not looking after them? It couldn't be me. So I found this. Steelbook. Star Ocean. £8. This is something that's right up my street. Not the game. Couldn't really care less about the game. I had Star Ocean actually on the PS1 and sold it for like £135. That was just before I started recording videos, which is a shame because that would have been a banger. But for £8, that was definitely worth looking up, and I almost didn't bother looking it up. I thought, I'm just going to buy this. So, no, I didn't. I did look it up. It's not really worth an awful lot. That surprised me quite a lot, really, because it's not a game you see that often, if I'm honest, physical at least. So, yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see that is about £10, £12 quite comfortably all day. Then I found Lumberjack's Dynasty, which, if I'm perfectly honest, I really wanted to buy. I don't know why. I really don't think I'd enjoy playing it outside of like the first 5 minutes, because if you've played Rust, you can essentially live out your lumberjack life within Rust. You know, all you do is hit trees and rocks in that game anyway. So if you want to play a lumberjack's game, go play Rust. Last Kids on Earth is a game that I've looked at on Vinted a fair few times. People tend to sell that off on the Switch quite regularly. I couldn't work out why Minecraft was still 30 quid. Had a look and it says the crossplay version. Maybe that's why. But I mean, 30 quid for Minecraft. How long? How many years of that game has that game been out? And it's still £30. Another Steelbook here. I didn't actually look this one up. Completely forgot to do it. In fact, I'm going to do that now. And it's probably a good thing that I didn't bother looking it up, because it's worth around the same price as CEX sell it for. So, dodged a bullet there. I say dodged a bullet. I wouldn't have bought it without researching it anyway. But still, on that occasion, unfortunately, I did not find anything. Nothing I wanted to spend my credit on. 6 months ago, I probably would have just spunked the credit on something just for the sake of it. And because I'm looking for promo copies of 360 games, that's what is sort of burned in the front of my brain that I need to find. And if I can't find them, I don't want anything. With that being said, I did go back because over the last couple of days, I don't know what's happened to my local CEX store, but they have had some stock. They haven't really had much of any like PS2 traded in. That's still hovering around the 70 mark, but they've had roughly 40 games traded in on the Xbox 360. They now have 194 different Xbox 360 games in stock. I did go in again today. In fact, I've just got back and I had a little look to see again if I could find any promos, because 40 new games being traded in, surely one of them is a promo. No. It's a rare thing for me to walk into CEX twice in 1 week and not walk out with a game, especially when I have store credit, but in a way I'm kind of glad I have done. Yes, I want to be picking up 360 games. Yes, I still want to add Mega Drive games to the collection, but as I've stated previously, I think Vinted is the place to go, and eBay of course, and maybe some retro video game stores to pick up Mega Drive games. I don't think I'm going to be buying them from CEX anytime soon. If anybody wants to do me a solid and swap me their Series X with this beautiful NBA Jam official strategy guide, just drop me a message. If you want to check out another video from me, you can click here, and until the next time, goodbye.